What's up, crypto enthusiasts? Welcome back to another awesome video. My name is Peter. I'm the founder of Wise Token and the Wise ecosystem, and today we're going to be talking about the difference between wrapped Ethereum and wrapped Bitcoin, and we'll also throw in BTC as well, another version of wrapped Bitcoin. Now, this conversation comes after some massive events in crypto. So if you're watching this later, what has just happened is that a bunch of, centralized exchanges and lending platforms have that were literally propping up the crypto market have collapsed. Just fell down like a bunch of dominoes. The Terra Luna collapse. It was kind of part of that as well. That ecosystem collapsing. You had Three Arrows Capital. You had BlockFi. You had Alameda. FTX was the latest one, and now we are wondering if Genesis will be able to pull through. Genesis being one of the most backbone lending ecosystems. Connected to so many different things. Like the contagion is real, and all of that has just about collapsed and brought a ton of capitulation to the market. So what people are doing is they are taking their money off exchanges, taking money off centralized lending platforms, and they are they have a lot more scrutiny now about, is this thing really decentralized? And so that's great, and especially great for what I'm trying to build, because hopefully we'll get some more attention, because we knew that we were supposed to be decentralized from the beginning, and we only build decentralized products. So that's good for the space. But one of the conversations that has come up over the past few days is the difference between wrapped Ether and wrapped Bitcoin and BTC. And interestingly enough, Ether is going to, win the decentralization argument by a long shot here, because it's far more decentralized than wrapped Bitcoin and BTC are, and we're going to see that in a minute, and that's very interesting. So first of all, why? Let's examine, why do we actually need wrapped Ethereum on Ethereum? Because you got wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum because you don't have Bitcoin on Ethereum. It's a different blockchain, so you need to wrap it. But why would we need wrapped Ether on the Ethereum native blockchain? Well, the reason is because Ether, the token ETH, is actually not an ERC20 token. It's a coin. That's the difference between a coin and a token. And so the purpose of Ether is to pay the gas for it and facilitate the transactions on chain. So for a protocol that's doing a ton of transactions, it's actually much better and much more gas efficient to use a wrapped version of Ether that's actually an ERC20 token. So Uniswap, for instance, uses a ton of wrapped Ether to do all their transactions on the back end. They're not dealing with ETH, they're dealing with wrapped Ether. And so what is wrapped Ether? Well, it's very simple. It's just a smart contract that wraps your ETH and turns it into wrapped ETH. Very simple. You can see all the wrapped Ether in existence sitting right there in that contract. There's no funny business going on. It's not being lent out to Aave, or there's nobody in control of that. It's a simple, watertight, smart contract where you can put ETH in to wrap it and turn it into an ERC20 token, wrapped Ether, and you can take your wrapped Ether and unwrap it back into the ETH coin. So very simple, very transparent, never is any issue. It's all on chain, and it's such a simple contract that, because the only risk would be if there was some loophole in the smart contract, but it's such a simple smart contract and it's stood the test of time. It's been around, and there's a lot of money in it that it can never be 100% safe. You can never say that, because there's no scientific way to rule out all the options. But it's as safe can be. Wrapped Bitcoin, on the other hand, if you're wondering, where can I see wrapped Bitcoin? Just come to the Uniswap pairs. By the way, very nice to see that Wise Ether is still on the very top. And if you go down to number 16, currently you can see wrapped Bitcoin and ETH. So this is wrapped Bitcoin, and people will wrap their Bitcoin in order to play around in DeFi on Ethereum. Because, if you want to use like Aave or something, or, some other DeFi protocol where you're lending, borrowing, leveraging or yield farming, something like that involving Bitcoin, well, this is a way you can do it. But how does that Bitcoin actually become wrapped Bitcoin? There is a company involved, so you do have to trust that company that it's not going to run away with your Bitcoin. Now, there's another version of wrapped Bitcoin as well called RenBTC, and there's many articles, like you'll find many articles toting this as this is the decentralized version. This is the better version of wrapped Bitcoin. It's completely decentralized. It's like, been toting themselves as like an innovator of technology and efficient, and no interparty, like no intermediary parties. And yet we can see Decrypt coming out with a piece in August 28th, 2020, showing that actually it is centralized. So Decrypt is a very notable, very trustworthy news source for crypto, and it doesn't even matter because they show all their sources here too. So they revealed that actually the Ren team is in control of the Bitcoin. So in 2020, all those Ren BTC, well, the team, albeit it was through a multi-sig wallet, has control of the Bitcoin. But that means if everybody on the multi-sig wallet on the team decided, hey, let's steal the 9,000 Bitcoin, they could actually do that. So this is a huge problem, and this and they have not become completely decentralized since this either, and there really is no way, because that's not even what they're trying to do. They're just trying to make a user-friendly experience, and they're just trying to make money. And so this is really what happens with a lot of things. I would compare this model to all the other layer ones that aren't Ethereum, and Bitcoin is very decentralized as well, but all the other layer ones, you think of Solana, you think of AVAX, definitely BNB chain controlled completely by Binance, and even Polygon. So what makes Ethereum decentralized is that consensus network of nodes. And the more nodes you have, the better and stronger and more secure your consensus mechanism is. Ethereum has always been decentralization first. They haven't sacrificed all these other layer one blockchains, and even the layer two rollups, even Optimism right now. You will see that they're way more centralized than Ethereum is. And so what these guys would have to do, they would have to create their own security network to make it truly decentralized. And then I'm not even sure if I would even trust that, because it seems like there is always loopholes. So it's about that consensus, that consensus network. And this is one of the reasons I'm so bullish on Ether and Ethereum, because Ethereum has always put decentralization first, even when gas fees are high. And it would make their product so much better if gas fees were low. They say, yes, we are working to make, we're going to continue to develop, sharding, etc., to help decrease the price of gas. However, we will not remove any amount of decentralization. That's been completely different from all the other layer ones and even the layer twos, which have had the idea of, well, we're first going to put out a good product that's get cheap gas and really scalable, and we'll work towards decentralization later. I was listening to a podcast with Vitalik on it, where he was saying how he wishes that some of the layer twos like Optimism would have become more decentralized by now, because that's a thing. You get happy with the ease of the user experience, then it's kind of hard to go back to add that decentralization later. It's going to be a hard road to get there. And that's why I'm so happy that Ethereum's stance is, we will not give an inch on decentralization, not an inch. So that's really cool. And so that's why wrapped Ethereum is so much more decentralized and so much safer than wrapped Bitcoin is, and also Ren BTC. So be careful. Be careful about things that seem decentralized but are not, because there's actually very few, much fewer than you think, things that are completely 100% decentralized, where there's not some little string attached and some way for the system to be gamed or the system to collapse in the worst case scenario. It's just hardly ever the case. There's Uniswap, and of course Wise token and Liquid NFTs, the other protocol we built. There's very few others that have absolutely zero strings attached, that are completely decentralized. So the last thing I want to point out is, wow, this is a huge win for Ethereum, and I want to point out that Ethereum has the network that everyone wants to be on. Even Bitcoin wants to be on Ethereum, because of the smart contract network, and it's extremely successful. There is a smart contract network for Bitcoin, the Stacks network, but not very enthusiastic about that, because the Stacks token is, as far as the distribution is way too greedy. Like, the people that built Stacks, they're giving themselves the lion's share. And so if the underlying token for the smart contract ecosystem is centralized like that, then useless, like completely useless, at least in my mind. Ether, the token, is way more decentralized, and Ether, the network, Ethereum, the network, is way more decentralized. So I just want to put that out there. I personally, I'm really noticing how Bitcoin has really won the number one spot for the number one smart contract network, and I think it's only a matter of time before Ether actually overtakes Bitcoin in market cap because of that fact. Yes, Bitcoin has been around longer and it's got the branding for sure, but they don't have the network, and they're not even close to building a network equal to the Ethereum network. So that's why I'm so bullish on Ethereum, and that's why I'm building almost completely solely on Ethereum. Like, I'm not interested very much at all on other blockchains right now until they become more decentralized. So anyways, that's going to wrap up this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Don't forget to join the Wise Army as well, and I will see you in the next video.